Welcome to another presentation at the East Trade Winds, hosted by Bernie Franz Grote and Wayne Pratt. The presentation today is Unlocking Opportunities, a Networking Revolution. Our guest is Chris Cianciulli from MyPersonalNetwork. Are you struggling to build real business connections that lead to growth? Chris Cianciulli helps small to medium businesses, solopreneurs, and new entrepreneurs connect with the right people to open doors and create real opportunities. As the leader of My Personal Network, Chris focuses on building meaningful relationships that drive success. With years of experience in sales, leadership, and networking, he knows how to help businesses grow by connecting them with valuable partners and resources. Chris believes that real connections are the key to long-term success, not just quick wins.
I have one goal from this presentation today, and that is to keep everyone's attention. If I can do that, then I'll feel that I succeeded. My story is like every 18-year-old who's in high school looking to venture into college. Because of my learned disabilities and not having ideal grades, I had to apply to 17 colleges to find the one that would then say, we'll take you. And because I went to a theater high school and I was a theater major, I was looking for a theater program. I love the performance. I love the aspect of being part of a production. I loved creating something out of nothing except the words on a page. I realized through my freshman year of college that I also liked to have money in a bank account or be able to buy things. When the director of the theater program said one spring day, you'll have many jobs. You'll work as a bartender, you'll work as a server. I thought to myself, I will be making my way to another department to switch majors. Now, I was into competitive bodybuilding at a young age, and fitness was something that appealed to me. So I switched majors and I majored in exercise physiology and then went to grad school for exercise science. As I got into working with people and training people, I opened my own gym, which I then merged into a larger gym, in which I then downsized into personal training studios. One of my studios I opened, someone suggested that I go check out a BNI group. And I didn't know what BNI was. And they explained it to me. I went into a diner back in 2006 before the financial meltdown. And it was like 40 people in that diner. And all these people were lining up to meet me. It felt so popular. And they're handing me business cards. And I'm like, this is such a new experience. Years later, my wife suggested join this local chapter. And I said, why? I have a chiropractor down the street. We refer clients and patients all the time. Why do I need to join a group? And I then thought back to the people when I was in college that said, I don't need to join a fraternity. I don't need to pay for friends. They said really ignorant things, proving that they didn't understand the many benefits to belonging to something. And I thought that my greatest memories from college were from belonging to a fraternity. So I went and was voted into that chapter, had much success in it. Once we had a whole shutdown a couple years ago, we all went virtual on a platform like Zoom. I realized there were lots of different organizations or lots of people that considered themselves big time networkers or big into networking, but they're not being a clear definition of what that even meant. Something else I realized about networking is it was very similar to fitness. Everyone has a goal. I would have clients come to me and say, I want to lose 50 pounds. And they had no way to get there, but they just knew what they wanted in the end. Similarly to networking, I want to get a bunch of clients. That's why I go to this, but not really figuring out how to communicate more effectively. People in fitness think more is better. Oh, if I do 1,000 sit-ups, I'll have a flatter stomach than if I only do 100. If I work out 5 days in a row, I'll get better results than if I work out 1 day a week. People big into networking think the more people I meet, the more likely I am to get business. both of those ideas. Third, people always think it's someone else's fault. That trainer wasn't good. That gym didn't have the right equipment. The music in there sucked. Networking, they're so salesy. They just don't get it. It's always someone else's fault. When I started looking at networking and fitness, I realized there was first quantity. Now, if I were to ask everyone, you would say quality over quantity, right? Quality over quantity. So why is the first question in networking, how many people belong to your group? How many people are going to be there? Why do people think more is better? That's just more people that aren't interested in meeting you. Of all those networking groups I went to, I was handed thousands of business cards and they all end up in a car console. You're writing other people's numbers on the back of them, or you're picking your teeth on your ride to a client with them and throwing them out the window, whatever. Hardly are you remembered because of that business card. Think of if you play a pickup game versus being on a team or belonging to a league. When you have pickup games, you may have star players, but when you belong to a team or a league, you have championship teams because it's everyone leveraging what they're good at to have something special. There are far too few conversations and there's too many presentations. It's people trying to sell instead of tell. As I got into networking, I realized that in fitness, you have those who work out alone. They join a gym, have minimal to no success, and then they join another gym, never achieving the result they were after, versus belonging to an established program. Belonging to Peloton, Orange Theory, wherever they belong, they get a better result because they're following something with established set rules where there's an understanding of what you need to do. You see your heart rate operating where it's most effective instead of just assuming I've been going for an hour a day, 5 days a week. If for 45 minutes of that hour, you're in the restroom or using their showers and amenities, why would you expect a result when it comes to someone preparing their meals versus a meal prep service that's just heat and eat? Those people have much better results because they're not having to put in all the additional time. They're just ingesting the food, faster outcome. Many people will say they're not very good at drawing, but everyone will tell you they're great at coloring, because it's easier to work within the lines than it is to come up with and create your own. What I learned in networking is there's three different forms of networking. We're calibrating the tool. We're all on the same page. Three forms of networking I've identified. First, entrepreneurship networking. Those are the people that are doing it on their own. They look at every introduction as a potential client they're trying to pitch. They have one conversation. They go to speed networking. They go to something where they're going to have one interaction and probably never see that person again. Then there's partnership networking. Collaboration is what's encouraged. They exchange referrals regularly and they meet consistently. Then there's relationship networking, where connections are across industries. You refer people when opportunities arise. You maintain contact. Those would be more like masterminds. So, networking versus your network. In networking, it's the way you meet. When you have your network, it's the people you know. There's a deeper connection. You have things in common. MPN, or My Personal Network, is a system and app to build your network. Instead of joining someone else's, it's building your own. I'm here to disrupt the networking space where it's industry specific networking chapters, where you're excluding people and saying false promises, which is we're only going to use the people in the room. Anyone that's been in business for more than a year knows 3 to 5 people that do what you do. The reason that they're going to refer you is because of commonality. People do business with those they know and trust. People refer those they value, and value is established through commonality. You can't refer someone you don't remember. So the MPN system and is an automated way to engage and effectively communicate to build a network that you know, trust, but most of all, value. It's a network, not a community. And I say it's different because a community is being among people you feel good to be around. A network is leveraging relationships because of what you can offer each other through collaboration or opportunities. At MPN, the first step is a meetup. The purpose is to learn about members, share experiences, and at the end of that 5-person get together, choose one person that stood out for a one-to-one. We share with each other what stood out. We have what's called icebreakers, where in the app you're answering simple this or that questions, text, call, multitask, one thing at a time. So it's little icebreakers. Then everyone in our second round, they select a question. Every month there's new questions. They select a question that they would like the other attendees to answer, sharing theirs last. And in the third round, everyone identifies one person they'd like to follow up with. Our system consists of 4 steps. The first step, which I just explained, is the meetup. Next, you follow up using the app to schedule a one-to-one with one of those 5 people who stood out. Step 3, you reconnect and have a one-to-one with them to uncover commonalities. And step 4 is to record details that stood out in the app. Now, here's what makes MPN so innovative and unique. You know what resonated about you with the other person. This is the first system that lets you know the other person was listening. So often people come to networking and say, hey, I've got to go early. Can I give my commercial? That was a big F you to everyone on the call that you're important and we're not. You want to tell us what you do, but then you've got other things because you're so important. You need to go do that. So the idea here is when you recap through the app, only you can see what words they would use to describe you, what adjectives, all positive words. What about you stood out? Married, divorced, kids, no kids, animals. Everything's in the form of tags where you just click on choices. What I learned about networking is networking groups consist of extroverts and introverts. The people on the board, the presidents, those that motivate you to want to join, those great personalities, those are your extroverts. But in those networking groups, the extrovert isn't going to be very consistent because you have your integrators and you have your visionaries and integrators. So the visionary is going to be your president, whereas the integrators are your support on the board. In networking organizations, you have people with businesses, the extroverts. Then you have those who have books of business, who are the integrators. I learned in networking that I judged many of the introverts by thinking they didn't know how to network because when we would do one-to-ones, they would jump right into business talk instead of getting to know someone. But being learning disabled, I realized that you aren't always seen as the person that you are because of your insecurity for one thing or another. And I learned that many introverts in networking don't know what to talk about. They don't know how to have a conversation. So instead of writing a book on how to network, I developed an app to automate the process. By following these 4 steps every week, it will build your personal network. Our first step is to have someone check out a guest meetup. You log into the app, we explain the meetup format, and we demo the 3 rounds. Then you return for a member meetup where you use the app, experience the meetup, and address any questions. Then you decide to join for $29 a month, cancel at any point. You're never locked in. Then you do a new member one-to-one where we show you steps 3 and 4, share fun facts, and complete a new member checklist. The fun fact aspect is at each meetup, everyone guesses. They have 3 choices in the app about you, 3 of your accomplishments, 1 real, 2 fake. The idea is you get to know one new thing about each person every time you meet. You, as an attendee, get to see who guessed your fun fact and who got it right. So it shows you who's interested in knowing you and engaged. If interested, I will put in the chat the link where you can register to check out a guest meetup and see if this is an interesting alternative to doing it on your own, because it's not about winning games, it's about winning championships.
Unlock the full potential of networking with East Trade Wins. Are you eager to connect with our esteemed guest speaker and delve deeper into the ever-expanding universe of connections? Simply scan the QR code now and embark on a journey of endless opportunities. Join us at East Trade Wins, where we gather online via Zoom every Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, you're welcome to connect with us. Seize the moment, register for free, and start exploring today. Fancy sharing your insights as a guest speaker? We're looking for you. Reach out to Wayne Pratt to ignite your speaking journey. Email him at wayne@motivateyou.ca or connect with Wayne on LinkedIn. Don't wait, take action, and be a part of a global community that's shaping the future of business networking.